Spooky Lou Carpenbarker, another international edition of the WrestleRoni. Oh man, we're going straight to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada for this one. The Don Dada himself, Tyler Rose. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, Lou. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So glad to have you on, man. So glad to have you on. Big fan. I promise you I am. When watching Rob Stardom's vlogs, he was one of the many, I'll have to say many, that caught my eye and said, hell yeah, we got a talent on our hands here. How's it feel to be back, man?
Long time overdue, really. It feels great. I wasn't sure how the fans were going to react because of being away for so long. You know how this business is. If you're away for even 3 months, there's a chance that, you lose your spot and they just don't care about you no more.
Mm-hmm.
5 years is like an eternity.
For sure.
So coming back, there was a few diehards that were around when I was around before that knew who I was. So it was great because having that mix of, oh, half the crowd, that's a fresh face, but the other crowd, oh, Tyler's back. They picked the other half of the crowd up to get their reaction.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense? So that first match back, the place was actually hot. Like the crowd was into it. So it helped because coming back from so long, like if the crowd was dead and you were getting crickets, you would realize, okay, I have a lot of work to do to get over.
Right.
But coming back and your first match back, they're hot, and you have like you're up on the corner and you're doing the 10 punches, and you stop at 9, and they're doing with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know that okay, maybe it's going to be a little bit easier than you thought.
Okay.
And then next show you get a reaction, and the next show you get a reaction. Okay, you're onto something here. Now you have to figure out. Okay, they're cheering for you, or in Primos case, like in CWE. I'm a totally different character
Mm-hmm.
than I am in Primos. In Primos, I'm just me ramped up to 15. It's not a character. It's more so just who I am.
Okay.
CWE is a more bigger challenge for me because I'm a babyface there,
Okay.
and I find it a lot easier to get people to hate me than it is to like me.
For sure.
So it's with that, I have to narrow down, okay, what's working, what's not working, what's getting a reaction, what's not getting a reaction, this versus that. It also helps when you're paired with someone, like, for example, my match with Kevin Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
If you're working a heel that is just so naturally hated, like look at me at Primos, they utterly despise me. As soon as they hear my music, they hate me.
Okay.
If you're working someone that has that much of a hated reaction, it helps you get over that much more because they already hate this guy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, okay, this we're working together, right? If you're not out there to help elevate your opponent, then what are you doing?
Makes sense. Yeah, and like you said, at that point they're ready for the janitor to go in and whoop that guy's ass.
Yeah, like if they don't believe you and they don't believe in you, you don't really have anything to work with to start. And
Yeah.
I know that because there's been plenty of times I've went out in that exact same venue, in that bar. Come on, guys, light it up. Come on. And I've been trying, but they're just crickets, dead. And it's just, it took a long time for me to figure out how to actually put my finger on that pulse and connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is taking stuff from outside of wrestling, like pop culture, and bringing it in.
For sure.
You
For
know
example.
what I mean? That's actually a good question. I try to take stuff and make it like 100% mine.
Okay.
And one thing that I do is I get heat in a way that I know that no matter what is going to get a reaction 100% of the time. And I use stuff outside of wrestling to do it.
Mm-hmm.
At Primos, it played into my hand perfectly. The timing couldn't have been aligned.
Mhm.
You live in the States. I'm going to drop 3 letters on you, and I want you to give your most honest, genuine reaction to the sport. Okay?
Okay.
NFL.
Man, you asked the wrong guy because it's wrestling for me all day. But the folks around me, oh my goodness, they live or
You're not
die
a
by their
football fan?
teams. Yeah, I don't
That,
fuck with football. I don't fuck with basketball. I don't fuck with baseball. But I know the type, believe me. Go Birds,
okay.
huh?
Okay, so you know the
Regardless.
type. All right.
Yeah.
So, um, we have the CFL. You guys have the NFL. You guys have the Super Bowl. We have the Grey Cup.
Okay.
My Primos debut just so happened to take place like 3 days before our Grey Cup.
Okay.
And the Grey Cup happened to be Winnipeg versus Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Toronto. Like, I was born and raised. And it was actually like a typical fucking wrestling storyline going into this Grey Cup. Winnipeg were the 2-0 back-to-back champions. Toronto was coming in like 9-17 or something, so they were underdogs. People didn't think they were going to win. So when I came out to wrestle Mark Merrick, I had the ring announcer announce me from the home of this weekend's future Grey Cup champions, Toronto, Ontario. Instantly, nuclear heat. They didn't care about anything else. They just wanted to see me get my big mouth, they want to see me get my ass kicked.
Yep.
Because I'm out there, and I'm not just putting them down now. I'm putting down their city. I'm putting down their sports teams. I'm saying that their city smells like garbage.
Right.
Because in 2023, society is very, very delicate. You have to be careful what you say. You have to be careful what you do. You have to be very careful with everything.
Yeah.
One person takes one thing the wrong way, canceled.
Yep.
We're living in cancel culture. So to avoid that, that's why I go to sports teams. That's why I go to the city. That's why I go, because now I'm not singling out one type of person. I'm not singling out one specific, anything.
Yeah.
I'm targeting everybody that lives here because y'all suck.
Yep.
And it works. If you actually go back and watch that last Primos show where I'm coming out, I didn't wrestle because my knee. There was at least 3 people that were genuinely, utterly disgusted. One person literally looked back to their parents in the second row, and they were like,
yeah.
And it's working. So why change it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We just saw it on a higher level just this past Monday night. Hulk Hogan's promo was falling apart. All he had to do was mention Philly's team. He was right back on track.
Yeah, exactly. Because, there's just like the cheap pop, cheap heat, but you got to know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyone can go out there and pick one person in the crowd and go, "Shut up, fat boy, you stupid idiot," blah, blah, blah. It's been done a million times.
Mm-hmm.
When you start actually making people think about what you're saying and getting in their heads, the saying, living rent-free in someone's head. When you start living rent-free in the audience's head, that's when you know you're doing your job right.
Yep.
I had this one kid in the front row at the last Primos show because I've been waiting 4 months for this jacket to come.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought I got ripped off. But I ordered a new ring jacket to fit with the whole Dada character. It was the one that I was wearing, the leather in the cashmere fur or whatever it's called.
Okay.
So I was doing my thing around the ring, and the kids, "You suck, go back to Toronto, you suck." So I had to make him think about what I was saying, because anyone can just be like, "Shut up, kid, sit down."
Right.
Anyone can say it's easy. But if you actually sit there and make him be like, "Wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Fuck you."
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So he's like, "You suck, Tyler Rose. You suck. Go back, whatever." And I looked at him. I'm like, "Okay, I may suck, but you still paid to see me. Thanks for the jacket." And I walked away.
Right.
So he's sitting there and he's like, "Thanks for the jacket. Wait, oh, son of a bitch. Fuck you."
Uh-huh.
I just he just realized that, yeah, you're booing the shit out of me, but it's your money that pays me. So, whatever you say doesn't really matter.
Yep. Well, good point. And I saw the video you're talking about. I know the kid that you said turned around and all this guy. So you're doing something right. The proof's on the videotape, as they say. So you're doing. It sounds like it was a hell of a struggle to come back. If you don't mind to dip into that for me, what happened? Why now? What's going on with you?
um, when, I'll be honest, it's all like water under the bridge now, as you can see from my work presently.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a shitty attitude and a big mouth. I was a shit kid, and I thought, not only did I think my shit didn't stink, but everyone needs to be broken in.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how the business is. I'm sure you've gone through it. A million people after us gone through it. A million people before us gone through it. Fuck, a million people before us had it worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I won't disclose any of the stuff that I was going through in my personal life on the podcast, because that's between me and my family.
For sure.
But I took the hazing and the breaking in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
That's on me. I can't blame them, because they went through it. Just like I said, everyone else will go through it. But I didn't perceive it the right way. I started clapping back. I started opening my mouth and basically okay, let's go then. You guys want to fight? Let's fight. Yeah. No, that didn't go over well.
Yeah.
I did shit like spray paint cars, slash tires, threatened to stab people. Like it was bad. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
I shouldn't be here is what I'm like. I was like damn near blackballed.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying that I was probably one of the worst students to ever come out of this city, attitude wise. Went away for a bit after the whole injury thing, because you know how the business is. You open your mouth, you get a receipt in the ring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This receipt really fucked me up, so I really had to go away and really analyze. I could keep going the way I'm going and end up in a wheelchair. I could realize that maybe it's not for me and hang them up.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could actually put the fucking work in and prove everybody wrong.
Good.
So I just took some time away. It was longer than expected because, like I said, I was dealing with some personal stuff. Ended up going away for a bit, but that's just, all I'll get into about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's basically what matured me. Sitting in a 8x10 with a 40-year-old man, 50-year-old man, and he's like, dude, you're 27. Do you want to be in my position?
Okay.
Light bulb, you know what I mean? It's just like, if I don't grow up in here, I'm not going to grow up at all. And this is going to be my life. In and out, in and out, in and out. Fucking hustling drugs, back on the street, in and out, just doing the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clinical definition. Repeating the same things, expecting different results is insanity.
Yep.
So I had to change something. So I wrapped everything up. I basically told everyone that I was hanging with, I was like, I'm done with you guys. If you guys want to, jump me out, do whatever you got to do. I don't give a shit, but I'm done. Like I'm leaving Toronto. I'm leaving this. I'm leaving the life. I don't want it anymore. I'm perfectly okay with working a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Working 9 to 5, working hard for what you earn.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, okay, don't get me wrong. Everyone goes through hard times. It'd be easy for me to pick up a phone call, reach out to some people, and re-up and get back out there and go do my thing to make money. It'd be easy.
Mm-hmm.
But the value of what you earn isn't appreciated because you don't work for it.
Right on.
Just like when shit's given to you, you don't appreciate it because you didn't work for it.
Yep.
Right? When I'm out there working 10-hour manual labor shifts at a tire shop or fucking working at a bar, grinding 6 days a week and then coming to wrestle and then going back to work, it's like, no, you know what? Like I deserve this because I put in the hours to get it.
Damn right.
And I don't have to look over my shoulder. I don't have to worry about getting robbed. I don't have to worry about getting shot. So it's just like, I'm done with that shit. I'd much rather, you can call me boring if you want, but you know, I'm sitting in a crib right now, content. So it's just like, it is what it is. I made the decision to better my life. These guys ain't paying my bills. These guys ain't paying, my taxes. So they can't make a decision for my life.
Fuck
I
yeah.
made that decision, and it's been the best decision I ever made.
Good. I'm glad. And I say it all the time. People can say what they want to say about me. It's what I know about me. Fuck what they say. I don't care. Put it in the newspaper. I do not give a shit. I can put my head on a pillow at night knowing that I'm a good dude. Obviously, same rings true with you. You can lay down at night knowing you're earning everything you're getting. So good on you. Good on you. That's exactly the shit I want my listeners to hear. You never know what life you can touch through a silly YouTube podcast. So I appreciate the hell out of that.
Um, Thank you. Part of that growing up, I really like it. Learned a lot because, like, I'll touch into that because you said like you never know what your viewers will stumble upon when they click on a podcast or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, despite that, like a lot of part of that those years when I left, I hit rock bottom. Like, I wasn't just hustling dope to make money. I was using my stuff too. So I developed an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was, all my money was going towards lawyer fees and this and that. And I figured, I was like, well, why am I going to spend money on an apartment, on furniture and this and that, when I know that I'm just going to lose it
Wow.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So for a good, I want to say maybe a year and a half, I was living on the streets. Like, I was living in shelters, bouncing around from like, dorm shelter to dorm shelter, addicted, just lost,
Mm-hmm.
rock bottom. There was a couple times where like I shouldn't even be here today. Like, there was a time where I actually took too much and then waking up in Scarborough Hospital with an IV in my arm, and I was like, how did I get here?
Wow.
So it's just like, basically the whole point of what I'm trying to say is like, whatever you're going through, and this isn't to you, Lou. This is to your viewers right now.
For sure.
Whatever you're going through, just know that there's people out there that have gone through it
Mm-hmm.
and have beat it and can give you advice outside of the textbook therapy, make you feel alienated help.
Right.
Just know that the human mind and the human body are amazing things and are extremely resilient. And as long as you want to get better, you can. And there's always room to improve your life. The last thing I'm going to say about that subject before we go back into wrestling is one specific saying that changed everything for me.
Okay.
Change can only happen when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change.
Hell yeah.
So whoever's watching out there, if you're ever going through shit mentally, physically, whatever, you can get through it. And there's people out there that have gone through shit too, that, like me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we're all in this together. Don't throw negative things on somebody else because you never know what they're going through.
For sure.
We're here to love each other. But that being said, let's go back into wrestling.
Yeah.
All that stuff helped me grow in life. And when you grow in life, you can grow in all aspects of your life.
Right on.
I was like, okay, well, if I'm realizing all this about myself, finding myself, working hard in my day job, not missing a day of work, able to actually hold down a job now at the same place of employment for over a year, this and that, why not pull the trigger and try to come back? Why not try to mend fences, clear whatever heat I had? And I'll be honest, I tried to come back to wrestling in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
but the answer I was told was no. Go somewhere else, put some training in, blah, blah, blah. Basically, we don't want you.
Okay.
But I kept nagging and nagging and nagging, and I went to a show as a fan, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not the kind of person that's going to air any dirty laundry. It's all water under the bridge, so I'm not naming any names.
Mm-hmm.
But person that I had issues with from previous that I didn't reach out and apologize to and mend fences with was on the show. And the whole, like, let's be real, wrestling business is built on respect.
Yep.
So, like I said, the fact that I didn't reach out to him to try to mend fences, I just thought I could just sneak in and watch the show, rubbed him the wrong way.
Okay.
So he told me, don't come back, leave. So with to try to prove that I grew up, instead of getting mad and trying to start a fight, blah blah blah, I just said, "You're right. I'm sorry," and I left.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, right?
Makes sense.
I reached out to him and said, "Look, man, what do I got to do to come back? Because like it's been 5 years. I want to smooth everything over. Everything was smoothed over, as you can tell, is smoothed over, and I believe it was July 29th, 2022. I get asked to, like, I reached out to CWE and I was like, hey, man, everything's kind of smoothed over now. Do you mind if I come back and try to work my way up? And the way I was going to do that was I was going to start from the bottom again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much time I had before. I don't care if I was wrestling before. Put me on fucking ring crew. Don't pay me. I already make enough money at work. Let me repay my dues.
Oh, yeah.
Do it. You know what I mean? Do it the right way.
Yeah.
So I ended up showing up for the Lethal Lottery show, set up the ring, and like I didn't even have gear, bro. Like I was wearing my work clothes because I had just come from the shop.
Okay.
Right? And I guess somebody didn't show up. So the promoter was like, got your gear? I was like, I looked down, kind of had the Eddie Kingston vibe going, and I was like, okay, I'm wearing it.
Yeah. Okay.
She was like, okay, you're booked. Oh, wait, what? I'm like, bro, like when I asked you to put my name in the Lethal Lottery, I was joking. Because the Lethal Lottery was the whole concept of the show is we put every wrestler's name in a jug
Mm-hmm.
and we shoot, like the fans draw the names. So you don't know who you're wrestling until your name's called.
Legit.
It forces
Okay.
you to call everything in the ring. So I was just joking, man. Like I'm perfectly fine just doing ring crew. He's like, no, you're booked. So like the anxiety that I felt, Lou, was I almost puked. Like I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I really don't. So it came time where I ended up working one of my old tag partners, Adrian Burton.
Okay.
And he has also shown a lot of improvement as well. Like where he is now versus where he was when I was tagging with him, two completely different people. Adrian, good job.
Cool.
So me and him ended up working together in a quick little like 5, 6, 7 minute 8 singles match. Wasn't anything too spectacular, right? I'm not going to sit here and put it over and say it was like a 5-star match or anything. But the fans were into it. We didn't lose them, and it was everything it needed to be.
Good.
I made Adrian look good. His finish looked like it. He killed me. I apologize to Rookie Sports Bar publicly for breaking your projector. Guys should have taken it down.
Oh, no.
And then I went to the back. No complaints. So then it just snowballed from there, and then now here we are. So that's basically how the return came about. Is I had to swallow my pride. I had to humble up, man up, own my fucking shit, and work.
Good. And you made a good point. You're exactly right. The wrestling business is built on respect. But I tell you what, through my time in the business, there's a lot of love in there too. There's a brotherhood. There's a sisterhood, whatever it may be. It's humans that care about each other. We like this strange thing called pro wrestling, so we are bonded. So as much as you pissed these people off or did what you did, still there was love there, obviously. So good. It proves my point. And
I'm glad.
and going back to go back on that, another great thing you guys did up there recently. We was talking about it before we started recording. Rob Stardom, his hometown, their food bank there was like 2 cans on the shelf. Let the folks
Yes,
know what y'all did there.
yes. Body Slamming Hunger. That's what the event was called. That was back in October. Thank you for bringing that up.
It
Um,
should be brought
that
up.
that show was very special, not only for me personally. Like it was, I held it close to the heart because, like I just told you, I've experienced homelessness, hungerness, all that stuff. So to see the local food bank running out of food, I wanted to be a part of that.
Hmm.
I was jumping to be a part of that, but everyone else was too. And another reason why that was kind of special for me was because that was the first time my dad has ever come to a show.
Oh, okay.
So he was in the back, he was watching. But the Selkirk Food Bank had like 2 cans of beans on the shelf. They had nothing.
Yeah.
So Rob got all the boys together, got the ring together. We promoted the hell out of this show. And we ended up standing room only crowd in Selkirk. And the original plan was we were going to donate 100 or 50, sorry, we were going to donate 50% of the proceeds to the Selkirk Food Bank.
Hmm.
Because you know how the wrestling business works. Venues got to get paid this and that. But everyone involved, not just the wrestlers, realized what we were doing.
Hmm.
And I am proud to say that we were able to donate 100% of the gate to Selkirk Food Bank, and we ended up donating $2,050 that night to help hungry families and provide something through the holidays, so that way they could actually, not struggle
Oh
and
yeah.
feel like the community actually cares.
That's good shit. That's beyond good shit. And like you said, during the holidays at that, when folks needed it most, they could get a meal and maybe get their kids a couple things for Christmas. I don't think you guys even understand the lives you touch doing that. So good on you. And another, let's look at it selfishly for a moment. It gives the pro wrestling business, it gives the promotion a positive spin as well. It's not this dirty, nasty, hush hush thing. Wrestling's doing good things for a community. So good on you. You guys made it better for all of us, believe it or not.
That's what our goal is. We're trying to change that stigma because everyone knows, like, pro wrestling has that stigma, like you just said. We're trying to at least show that pro wrestling's not all bad.
Yeah.
So
And honestly that's why I was happy to have you on the show, because I would like to look at my podcast as almost the opposite as Dark Side of the Ring. There's good in wrestling. There's a lot of positive things happening. If they can forgive a shithead like you and you're doing well in life, then anything's possible. So
never
let's
give up on your dreams is
it,
basically the moral of the story on that one.
I say it at the end of every episode. I'll say it at the end of this episode. Go out, give your dreams a shot. What's some other good things going on the scene up there that folks in my neck of the woods might not be aware of? I saw you had Davey Boy Smith Jr. on a show recently. Hell, y'all got Pat Tanaka coming up. That's exciting.
Let, let's talk about that Davy Boy show for a second.
Okay.
We actually had him up here twice recently.
Mm-hmm.
The first time was back in November for an event that we call the CWE Rumble to Remember.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this event is, I'm not gonna like stroke the ego and say the world, because I'm not sure what they're doing in Europe. I'm not sure what they're doing in Japan or whatever. But for North America, the CWE Rumble to Remember is the biggest indie event on the continent, because the main event is a 50-man over the top rope Rumble match.
Yeah.
5-0.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it every year, not just one, like we do it annually. 50-man Rumble to Remember. So the headliner for that show was Davey Boy Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up wrestling in a quick tag team match with Jay Rockney versus Danny Duggan and Tommy Lee Curtis before the Rumble, and then he was in the Rumble himself. Now, I want to do a special shout out to Davey, because I was talking to him in the back, and I asked him for a photo because one of my really, really like close friends grew up watching his dad,
Mm-hmm.
and his dad passed away, and now he is really, really, really sick. So I just kind of wanted to like send like a best regard. So I was wondering if you could maybe take a picture with me so I can send it out to him,
Mm-hmm.
and it really lifted his spirits.
Hell yeah.
So he didn't have to do that. Names don't have to take pictures with boys like that, but he did, right? So I appreciate that. And then we brought him in for this last Primos show,
Mm-hmm.
Sub-Zero, and basically it was Team Impact versus Mark Merrick and Davey Boy Smith Jr. for the Primos tag team titles. That match was something I wanted to make sure that I did not miss,
Mm-hmm.
because Team Impact is one of those local legends. Team Impact, Robbie Royce is one of those guys that's been around and paved the way for guys like me, paved the way for numerous guys, 30 years of knowledge. And I'll admit right now, he's gone from personally hating me
Mm-hmm.
to taking me under that Team Impact knowledge wing.
Hell yeah.
Okay?
Priceless.
And it's one of those things that I cherish to my heart, because he doesn't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to take the time to even, give me anything except a handshake and a nod.
Yeah.
Right? But to be able to pick that man's brain and learn, and to be able to be like, okay, I understand. All right, what do you suggest I go watch? What should I be watching for? I go watch that on the network, come back, and I'm breaking it down. It's just, it helps you evolve,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anderson Tyson Moore is one of those guys where his charisma level is through the goddamn fucking roof. Like, the guy could make a paper bag look like an asshole.
Right.
Like, I don't know how he does it. I really don't. But he just, right? And you put those two guys together, and it's just magic. And then across the ring, you have Davey Boy Smith and Mark Merrick. And what made them special to wrestle Team Impact is, I don't know if this is well known, but Robbie Royce wrestled British Bulldog Sr. in his last match.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
About a week or so before he passed away, Top Rope Championship Wrestling brought British Bulldog and Davey Boy Smith Jr. up for a tag team match, and Robbie Royce was in that match.
Hell yeah.
So he got to work with the British Bulldog and Davey Boy Smith Jr. So fast forward 20 years later, you got Harry Smith, you got Robbie Royce, you got all that history. It's just magic in the making.
For sure.
And they actually repeated some of the spots they did in the match they did 20 years ago.
Nice.
So being under that knowledge tree and knowing all this history, you're damn right I had to be out there and watch this. I didn't wait for the tape. I walked out and I sat at the music booth and I watched this match live because I wanted to learn. And like I said, I was able to learn live on the spot. Okay, I see why he did that. I see the sell. It's making sense now. Okay, you get your. They say all the veterans will say it the best or say it the most. You get your education in the car.
Mm-hmm.
You're driving for hours and they're sitting there and you're listening to guys putting matches together. You're listening to them talk, right? So that match alone was special to them, was special to me. It was special to Winnipeg because of the history element. The crowd was into it. The reaction was there. And it was honestly a sellout standing room only crowd that night too. Like, we had to turn 70 people away from the door.
Wow.
So that was pretty epic.
Definitely sounds like it. I want to give props to my man Cam Ross for putting this footage up. That's the only place I can find the footage right now. So that's how little old me in West Virginia finds it. So big ups to Cam on that. Rob Stardom's vlogs as well. He's given a spotlight. Is there any other avenues you know to shout out where folks can see this sort of thing?
Right now, Cam Ross,
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out to him too, because not only is he trying to earn his stripes as a referee, but he's also the main videographer.
Mm-hmm.
He's predominantly one of the main fans that does film all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Primos does have their own photography unit. It's just the uploading time compared to Cam Ross's upload time is
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for here? Slower. Sorry, I guess it's that time.
Have at it. And hey,
um,
while you're doing that, I'll explain. I was in Cam's shoes. I was the guy in the crowd recording and getting it up before RSW does. And then RSW's hitting me up. Hey, man, we was about to put that show up. Well, now I'm their digital media department. So now it's happening. I'm doing their weekly TV and everything. So,
I
yeah.
appreciate Cam. I appreciate Cam because if it wasn't for him, half of this stuff wouldn't be up there right now
Yep.
for people to see, for people to be like, oh, okay, that's what's popping up there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cam, keep going.
For sure. For sure. Hell, I'm going to, even though I had no business saying so, but it's my podcast, so I got to take some liberties. Let the man get closer to ringside. Let the man get us some better shots. Buy the man a selfie stick. You know what I mean. I know everybody wants to make their DVDs and put it out, but till then, it's not going to hurt things. Let Cam roam around a little bit, get us some better footage. I'm just, like I say, it's my
You
podcast.
heard
I
him,
said my piece.
Primos. Selfie sticks and roaming access.
Yeah, hey, that's how I started. My best friend was in the main event, and by goodness, they let me roam around, get the footage, and I must have done something right, because here I am, so you know what I mean. But like I say, you guys have been. You caught my attention. I watch weird indies. I watch indies from Argentina. I watch anything I can from Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, because that's my crew. But I take time to watch Primos. I take time to watch CWE because I enjoy it. It's fun. I think it was a recent CWE show. Everything was a gimmick match. Loser eats dog food, bras and panties.
Oh,
That was
yes.
fun. Rob,
Yes.
go ahead.
Thank you for bringing that show up.
Okay.
That show, it was called Spin the Wheel, Make a Deal. It
Okay.
was our version of Raw Roulette.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, match gimmicks on the wheel, spin the wheel, da-da-da. Because we tried to make the rookie shows, the reason why we call them rookie shows, sorry, they're not rookies, like rookie wrestlers. The venue was called Rookie Sports Bar.
Okay.
So, it's an 18-plus venue.
Okay.
So it's a bar show, right? So there's drinking, there's loud. It's an adult environment. So we try to make those shows fun because, like, I'm not knocking those shows. They're great,
Mm-hmm.
and any chance you get to get ring time, take it. But those shows don't draw the same amount of numbers as, let's say, a Holy Eucharist show would with James Storm or the Rumble show would, because they're kind of like, for example, if Danny's doing 40-day tour and then 40-day tour, there'd be a couple rookie shows in between to keep the Winnipeg crowd, right?
Okay.
Make sense? Like,
Yeah.
he has his big show and then he has the rookie show, then a big show, then a rookie show. And, like, I got my start with him on the rookie shows.
Okay.
Because I wasn't good enough to be on his predominant Winnipeg main card.
Okay.
So I was working the bar shows, cutting my teeth, learning, and then going and help setting up and doing ring crew for the big events where, like, we got like the Matt Tavens, the Tajiris, the Roderick Strongs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't actually wrestle on a big event like that for CWE until this past Rumble.
Okay.
I was always predominantly those rookie sports bar shows. But back to the whole spin the wheel show, everything was a gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
So we spun the wheel before the guys came out. That's when you found out what your match was. And it was the biggest test for my career to date.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was the first time I was ever stepping in the ring with Hotshot Denny Duggan.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. Do you know who
Yeah.
Hotshot Denny Duggan is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. 6-time CWE champion,
Mm-hmm.
multiple-time Rumble to Remember winner, well-traveled all over the States, all over the world, has been to WWE, right? So to get in there with a guy like that,
Mm-hmm.
with the history that you've had, it's just like, okay, this is humbling. This is the biggest opportunity of your career. Don't fuck it up.
For sure.
So I went out there and like we had to. Everything was what it needed to be. You know how the business works. We got to make sure that your opponent gets over just as much as you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out there and Danny kicked the shit out of me. But if you look at me and you look at Danny, there is no physical way 160-pound white boy from Toronto would ever be able to beat a 260-pound Danny Duggan.
Just stout. That man is stout.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it was everything it needed to be, and the whole American gimmick, it worked. And honestly, I felt proud of that because I got to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
I got the chance to get in there with someone that's world traveled.
Mm-hmm.
I got to step up my game.
Yeah.
And back to a point that you made earlier, that the wrestling business is full of love. There was a point in that match where it was just, I guess, fate, but he went up for a rock bottom, mm-hmm. and I kicked my feet a little too high, and I was going to come down a little top heavy. Danny, I love you, bro. I sent this to you the other night, but I'm going to say it publicly so everyone knows. But if it wasn't for Danny protecting me and coming down and making sure that I landed, properly and didn't break my neck,
mm-hmm.
after everything that I've, done, it just goes to show you that as long as you show that you apologize and you earn that respect and you build that back up, that you can do something in this business. And another part of that show that's really special for me is, Mikey, this is for you. There's a fan that comes to the rookie shows all the time. His name is Mikey.
Okay.
Mikey and his cousins come. Mikey, he's a special needs case. Like he's got. I don't want to sound rude, but I'm just trying to explain what he has.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Mikey has Down syndrome.
Okay.
Right. I remember. I think one of the first times that I went back to rookies, I think it was my match with Kevin Cannon. Mm-hmm. I was going to get a guy water, going to the back, and the dude stopped me. He was like, "Hey, that kid wants to meet you." And I was like, Where? And he pointed. So I went over and I was like, Hey, how's it going? Are you enjoying the show? And Mikey's like, Yes, I am. I was like, Who's your favorite wrestler? And he goes, You are.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, No. I'm like, No. I'm like, You're lying to me. Tell me, who's your favorite wrestler? He's like, No, you. I was like, Hold on a second. So I go to the back, and I'm pretty sure you see that I wear the bandana backwards like Hernandez.
Uh-huh.
I went back, and I had an extra one in my bag. Mm-hmm. So I done it up. I tied it around his head, took a picture with him, and every show now he's waiting for me to show up and looking for me and everything.
Hell yeah.
So at the Spin the Wheel Make a Deal show, Mikey was there. I had wrestled my match. They were calling guys up, this and that. I went out for a cigarette with my uncle and Mikey. Mikey came out with us, and his cousin was like, Hey, Mikey, wouldn't it be cool if you got called to spin the wheel? Because it's all random, right? The ring announcer's picking people.
Okay.
So I was like, I looked at my uncle, and I instantly threw my smoke on the ground and walked. I'll be right back. And I walked back in because we were on intermission. And I pulled Marty aside, and I was like, Marty, come here for a sec. I was like, there's Mikey out there. He told me that like a couple shows ago that I was his favorite wrestler. But that's not what I'm asking you. He really, really, really wants to go up and spin the wheel. Can we make it happen? Mm-hmm. And he's like, why don't you come out after intermission, grab him, and bring him over? Because I want to make sure he's able to,
Yeah.
Right? So after intermission, Marty called me out. I grabbed Mikey, and I was basically like, let's hear it for Mikey, everybody. And the entire bar dude, was like, Mikey, Mikey, Mikey. And he went around and he spun the wheel and he actually ended up getting Rob Stardom and Corey Diamond in a bra and panties match.
Hell
Good
yeah.
job, Mikey.
Good work, Mikey. Yeah, because
Yeah. So Mikey's over. Mikey's over now. Every time he's over there, they love Mikey.
good, good. He
So
should be, as he should be. Shout out to you, Mikey. You're doing good things for the Canadian independent wrestling scene. If you can get Rob Stardom in a bra and panties match, by God, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Mikey. Hell yeah, I love it. It's good shit. I love it. Let's go back to something I wanted to touch on that you had mentioned, because my viewers probably aren't aware of this. These 40-day tours, which is insane. I'm not sure if they've happened after the pandemic, because, God, it's taken us all hell to bounce back from that. But before, just if whatever you can tell folks about 40 days straight, right, across Canada.
I will. You know what? Let's give a little rundown with CWE
Okay.
because I work for CWE and Primos.
Mm-hmm.
CWE is a Winnipeg-based promotion,
Mm-hmm.
and it started back in 2009.
Okay.
Our first main event was Mentalo
Mm-hmm.
versus Brian Danielson.
Oh, okay.
And fast forward 14 years later, like it started with a show once a month in a community center in front of like 150 people.
Mm-hmm.
Up until like 2019, 2020, before the COVID pandemic hit, Danny Duggan was able to grow that promotion into a local Winnipeg once a month indie promotion
Mm-hmm.
to a company that tours from Winnipeg across every province of this country. And I'm talking like 36, 37, 38 days in a row, 30 shows, 38 shows in a row, 40 days, 40 shows, like straight.
That's
Like I'm
crazy.
talking like, okay, you're hitting the show next night, you're doing a show in a different night, hitting the road next show. And he would start in Winnipeg and he would go up like Saskatoon, Edmonton, or do a big loop coming down across from Vancouver to like Calgary, Regina, do a Winnipeg show, and then do the Ontario loop, end in Toronto, and then come home.
Okay.
Just like outside of WWE,
Mm-hmm.
AEW, I'm
AEW's
not
not
going to
even
mention
doing
Ring
that
of
right
Honor
now.
anymore because AEW bought Ring of Honor, so that's kind of just one company now.
Right.
But outside of those two, can you, off the top of your head, name any Impact, or indie,
Mm-hmm.
indie promotion that's able to do that?
Especially at that pace. That's unheard of since WWE. I mean,
And they do
GCW,
it.
it's unheard of.
We do it like twice a year. Sorry, I didn't mean to interject there.
All good.
We do it like twice, sometimes 3 times a year. For the Decade of Dominance tour, I believe we had Killer Cross, now AKA Karrion Cross,
Mm-hmm.
and Psychosis.
Okay. Hell yeah.
We've had the list of big names that have come through the doors of CWE, top notch, top notch. We've actually had people from all over the world
Mm-hmm.
on the independent level travel to Canada to get on these tours. Independent wrestlers from Germany, independent wrestlers from the States, independent wrestlers from Mexico coming to Canada just to get on these tours because there's no indie promotion in the world like it.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair to say.
Unfortunately, the COVID pandemic shut down a lot of markets,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trying to build back up to that level of touring. It's just, you know how it is. Everything's a slow grind. You got to build back up, right?
Yep.
Doesn't mean we're not touring, though.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, we actually have a couple tours coming up.
Good.
This weekend is the 14th anniversary tour. 14 years.
Yeah, I've been seeing that on social media. Let the folks know about that.
Originally, we were supposed to have the Trend, Matt Taven, come in.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Jay Briscoe no longer with us. God bless you, brother. His funeral is happening this weekend.
Okay.
So it's understandable. We're not mad at you, Matt Taven. The fans aren't mad at you, Matt Taven. We understand.
For sure.
Go handle your business. Come back when you can. As you can tell, the lights are purple for him. Pat Tanaka,
Suitable
being the true
replacement.
professional that he is and the OG that he is, stepped up to take his place on short notice, and is going to be here for the 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Hell yeah.
This Friday on January 27th, we're in Winnipeg. 28th, we're in Morden, Manitoba. 29th, we're in Dauphin, Manitoba.
Okay.
And then a couple weeks later, I believe February 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, if I'm correct. You have my notes there with you?
Yes, I do. Let's see here. All I gotta do is hit the button. Let's see. Yep, Ontario. You got, let's see, this weekend, 27, 28, 29. You said Winnipeg, Morden, Dolphin, Ontario. Okay, February 17th, Thunder Bay. February
Yep.
18th, Sault Ste. Marie.
Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Okay.
And then
February
we're going
19th, Elliott Lake.
to Elliott Lake and then Sudbury, Ontario to finish off.
And y'all got Austin Aries on the 20th.
Yes, we do. No, all four. All four dates
okay.
are Austin Aries. That he's headlining that tour.
Got you. Okay.
And then a couple weeks after that, I believe the tour is starting March 6th.
Yep.
I'm probably going to butcher this name. I'm sorry.
I was hoping you'd say it instead of me.
Muscowaken, okay. Saskatchewan. And then March 7th is, I believe, Saskatoon.
Weyburn. Then you got Weyburn. Saskatoon on the 8th.
Weyburn on the 7th, Saskatoon on the 8th. I believe, I don't have my notes here with me. You got to help me here. I'm sorry.
You. March 9th, Prince Albert. March
9th.
You got Yorkton.
Okay.
311, Regina, 312, Estevan, and you tell them the big name on that one.
Right. So the Saskatchewan tour, I apologize, guys. I'm bad with numbers. If I had my notes up, you wouldn't be able to see me. So that's why I sent Spooky Lou my notes. That tour is being headlined by Cowboy James Storm.
Sorry about your damn luck.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Yep.
We've had him in a couple times at the end of last year. Hernandez as well. Hernandez, brother, I'm sorry. I missed you twice. Rob Stardom mentioned that I sent you beer on the first time around. Second time around, I busted my knee, couldn't make it. Third time, I hope's the charm, brother. Tequila, you and me.
Hell yeah. That dude gets around. I'll be seeing him in February myself here in West Virginia. So go figure.
Did you tell him that I say hi, and the third time that he comes up here, we need to drink?
I will let him know. And hell, I'm not a drinker, but if I'll do a shot with Hernandez all day. Let's do it.
I'm telling you right now, Lou, Hernandez can drink. That boy can drink, man.
Well, I know some competition for him down this way, so we'll see if the legend's true. Believe it or not, we're already past the go home mark. We're in the final 10 minutes here. So before I let you go, we're definitely going to have you back. But any words of inspiration you can give to either up-and-coming wrestlers that you haven't already done so, because definitely an inspiring story, or just to my listeners, some life advice in general. Anything you can give them, and also at the same time, plug your socials, sell your merch, whatever you want to do. The platform is all yours, my man. It's been a super pleasure. Let the folks know
before I end this with something motivational, there is one last event I do want to put over. Sorry, two.
Okay.
February 17th, Primos presents Frostbite and Fist Fights.
Mm-hmm.
Team Impact is defending the tag titles against Billy Blaze and Big Cliff in a tables match.
Hell yeah.
February 24th, King of Transcona at Rookie Sports Bar. Every match is a qualifying match. Main event's a Battle Royal. Winner of the Battle Royal becomes the King of Transcona for a year. March 4th, Rob Stardom is putting on another charity show. This one is for the Dream Factory for terminally ill children to make dreams come true. Now, we are in Winnipeg this time, so we're looking to double down on what we did in Selkirk. We have a bigger venue, a Cinnabon.
Come on, Internet.
Games are on the card. I'll be there, hoping to make money for a good cause. I'll just end this with any young wrestlers out there, you can never stop learning. And learn from me. Don't do what I did. Ears open, mouth shut, have a good attitude. If you want to be there and you want to learn and you want something out of this, you'll get it. But you also have to put the work in too. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's the motto of this business, right? Grind it, man. Get that work, and you get what you put in. So if you put that work in, it'll love you back.
Proof's in the pudding. Proof's in the pudding. Again, I was a big fan before the podcast. I'm a bigger fan now. I can't thank you enough for being so humble, for being so open. Definitely one of the better, if not the best episode we've had yet. So I can't thank you enough. And to the listeners, check out Rob Stardom's vlog. It's real easy. You type in Rob Stardom in YouTube, it'll come up. Check out CWE. What's on your mind? Tell him.
Rob Stardom told me to tell you that he's going to come down and have a beer with you.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
As you were CWE.
And we wish him luck on his tour right now over in Japan. Give him hell, Rob. And again, it's been another fantastic episode. I only bring grade A human beings on the show. I can't thank you enough for reaching out to me on Facebook, for offering to come on the show. And to the whole crew up there, keep killing it. I hope to talk to each and every one of them possible. And hell, in a perfect world, I'd like to see you do your thing live, one way or the other. Come on down here to the States and kill it. And if you decide you don't want to do that, then we'll come to you, by God. We'll come up there and see you. It's been awesome, man. It really has. To my listeners, you know how we do it. Be kind to one another. Live your dreams. But don't take no shit, man. Stand up for you. You know what you want out of life. Take the first step today. You might be surprised with the results. Get your shit together. Do something with your life. It's been WrestleRoni. I love y'all. Go do something.
You're about to witness the C-Walk of the incredible Mr. WC. Keep it gangsta, y'all. Keep it gangsta. 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 I wanna thank you all. I wanna thank you. I wanna thank you all. I wanna thank you. Keep it gangsta, y'all. Keep it gangsta. Keep it gangsta, y'all. Keep it gangsta. Don't see if the lit, what side is a click? Can't get enough of this gangsta shit. Man, 10 is a lit, what side is a lit?